So today, a viewer sent in a few replays of themselves playing Chaos Fairy and asked for some advice about what mistakes they might be making, what they could do better. Honestly, this is probably the deck I get asked about the most in terms of piloting, which makes sense because fairies are like super tricky and super finicky, notoriously to pilot. And I think Chaos Fairy it's similar to regular Fairy in that respect for sure, since you're still playing the same core recruiter engine and stuff. I think it's like really tricky to pilot, and then also if you misplay once, it can just like spiral really bad for you too. So it's like double punishing in that sense. Playing fairies, I figure I might make a little video going over these replays and just commenting on what I think the optimal way to play in these situations would be. So in game one here against blackwings, we can see that we have opened up Trap Dust Shoot, Mind Control, Herald of Orange, Cyber Dragon Decree. So definitely not a bad hand. We are going to get Dust Shooted going second, which sucks. That is really bad. The opponent made a weird-ass play, actually. Why didn't they just Whirlwind summon this? All right, I don't know, but we're getting Dust Shooted still, which is really, really bad. They take Honest. I don't even know if that was right. So in this situation, you maybe just set Dust Shoot and Decree. If you didn't get Dust Shooted, it might be valid to just set the Dust Shoot, see if that set monster's a Raikou, and they go for it. But they know about that now, so there's like no way they're falling for that. So you might as well just set them both. And then if it's a Raikou, you hope that they don't like gamble on the 50-50. Well, you probably just shotgun the Dust Shoot, actually. Yeah, you probably just shotgun the Dust Shoot. I would not have gone for this at all. There's no reason to use the Cyber Dragon here. Like, what is... In most situations, just attacking into a set monster with a Cyber Dragon isn't really going to accomplish much. So I would have just held on to it until we have the Decree established. That way this wouldn't have happened. This bottomless would have just been a useless card. I definitely wouldn't have done this after that because we do get super punished here randomly because the opponent decided to set Blizzard. I don't know why they decided to set Blizzard, but yeah, I would have just held my gas for next turn. I would just set 2 pass there. I think that's probably what I would have done. And here, because they made that mistake where they held onto their Kalut instead of just going for the Whirlwind Search, now we get to Dust Shoot back the Kalut, and they don't get a Whirlwind Search, but on the other hand, we are kind of down bad at this point because we went with that Minecon Cyber Dragon play. Opponent goes Summon Blizzard, Search Vayu, which is... Why did they do that, actually? That's crazy. Let's see. We draw into Allure. Might have been tempted to blind Allure here, but I think it's probably better to wait. The situation is really bad at this point already. I think if we just held that Cyber Dragon, we'd have been in a good spot. So now we blind Allure. I mean, you should probably set the Raikou first if you're going to blind Allure. Definitely should just set the Raikou first. I think they make the right play here. I'd have been tempted, maybe, to keep the Sork and just hope you mill something off Raikou, but I think the Trag is probably the better play, especially when you have this Orange Light that you could pitch to steal one of those level 2 Blizzards. So I think they made the right call here. Here you got to kill the... is it correct? You have to stay alive, so you have to kill one of these, otherwise your Trag's going to get run over. So that was probably right. And here, they did actually mill a Dark, so if they held that Sork, it would have been live, I guess. But I think that's a little too gambly to go for that. We get the Trag. We can just steal Blizzard. Yeah, at this point, I think you should steal the Blizzard and then attack with the Blizzard. The thing is, if they have a Sirocco in their hand, I guess this would free them up to summon it. But if they have Sirocco in the hand, they're just in a great spot anyway because they just tribute summon the Sirocco. So it's like, it doesn't really play around that. You should just attack. If it's a battle trap, you flip Decree, so there's literally no punish for that. But we're actually not. I think we synchro. Yeah, I think you should have attacked, probably. Because if they had judgmented this Colossal, it would have been really super bad, I guess. It's pretty bad anyway if they judgment the Colossal, but if you at least hit over that thing. However, they have a second Whirlwind, and then they top deck Bora, so now we just lose. Really, I think the turn 1 misplay kind of was a problem there. Yeah, if we just held on to everything, then maybe we could have done something, but now we're going to die to the double Kalut Search, so... yeah, that's what I think about that game. Game number 2... Most things kind of went wrong with the turn 1 there, I think. I mean, we did get Dust Shooted, which sucked, but we could have just like played a little more conservatively, probably. That like I mentioned, that tends to be how things go with this deck. If you just do like one thing wrong, it just like spirals from there. So you really can't afford to do things wrong. In this game, they reveal that they're on Plague Spreader. Now, I think there are some viable changes that you could make to Chaos Fairy, and it would just be like just as good. I don't think Plague Spreader is one of them. I don't really see why it's in here. There's just not a lot of like great synergy with this card. I guess it goes well with return, but we have enough ways to keep return live. They also torrential this just like immediately. Would I have even gone for the blind dim out here actually? Maybe. Without honest, it's actually a little risky. And you have the Cyber Dragon. You could maybe just set torrential pass, and then they summon Shura, and then you torrential that, or you just don't torrential that and be greedy. Like you don't torrential that, then you go for the dim out crash on your turn, and they have to collude over at best. Yeah, I don't know. I think I probably just would have not summoned this, and then maybe set the torrential and waited. That's probably what I would have done. But now we are in an okay spot, I guess, anyway. I don't know. I think it's probably better to hold the torrential. It depends. Torrential is like a really good card if you can preserve it. But this trade was just like kind of okay, like 1-for-1, but like not great tempo for either side. And now we don't really do anything. We could have poked with Plague, but it might be better to hold Plague. Is it better to hold Plague here? Just like go with Cyber Dragon. Maybe just like Black Rose with Cyber Dragon later. It's better. We actually dropped Trag here. I don't think I would have dropped Trag here. I think I would have just like held it a little bit and then gone for the side replay. But now we eat a D prison anyway. It's like we didn't have a level 3 in our hand to pitch is the big thing. I think you could probably just wait till you could steal something. Or like, even if he had like summoned this, we could have stolen it by pitching Sidra or something next turn. Actually, we could have just like crashed the Angel though. That we didn't know we were going to top deck that, but still, if you top deck Recruiter there, you just try to crash it into the collude, and that'll be a good trade. I'm also not sure why we floated into Honest. I think this is the strangest play made so far, because we have 2 Christias in our hand. Why not just get like another Recruiter and then try to crash? Like, do you think they have another? Just make them have another D prison, I guess. Like, if we can just get this Christie alive, we're going to be a good spot. So we bounce the Honest back. I just don't think we should have searched Honest. I don't see why. We only have like 1 card it goes with. I guess it goes with the Gore's token too. But it would just be so much better to try to get Christie alive, because we have 2 Christias in our hand. So we get colluded, but we chain Honest. So fortunately, we just like take a good trade here and then go for Blacker's main 2. This kind of worked out okay-ish. But I feel like getting Christie alive is higher priority. At least to me. We draw Fader. They draw Dad, which just like happens to... Wait a moment. They just cheated. Your opponent just like summoned Dark Armed with 4 Darks in the grave. How did I not catch that the first time I watched this? Well, I think the main mistake you made this game was letting them summon Dad when they had 4 Darks in their graveyard. I'm gonna chalk it up to that one. That's what went wrong this game. Well, given that they have summoned Dad with 4 Darks in their grave, I think you probably should have just sorked the thing. I guess the issue is it would have actually just gotten compulsed. But then they would have resummoned it with 4 Darks in their grave. I don't know. I mean, this is bad. We get friggin' Icarus attacked. They kill our Warrior Lady. We still have Gores, and we still have Sork plus Plague, so that can like banish one thing, go for a synchro play. So we're like far from out of it. We have to Gores to stay alive. Yes. Might as well just do it to avoid the damage anyway. I don't think we need to stay alive. I think we should have Sorked in main 1, and then like stack for Plague, make a synchro, and then summon DD Warrior Lady. Because we'd have just forced out that back row beforehand. But as it stands, we could still out everything, because we can just Sork one of them, stack for Plague, make Dark End out the other one. So you probably banish that one, and then Dark End that. I don't know. This whole game is just occurring in this weird context where you let them summon Dark Armed with 4 Darks in their graveyard, though. Yeah, definitely watch your opponent in the future to make sure that... Wait, what? Why did we make Stardust? Of all the guys to make here, I don't think I would have made Stardust. I would have just made Dark End. I would have made Dark End and killed that thing, but I think Colossal would also be better. Does this deck play Thought Ruler? Do I play Thought Ruler in here? I don't remember. Do I play all the 8s? I feel like I should. Maybe I don't. I mean, we out everything anyway, I guess, but you would just rather this be something besides Stardust. Like, why? What is it Stardust for? Are we afraid of top deck Mirror Force? I'm not sure. But yeah, they top deck Blizzard, and now we like lose the game because they just take our Stardust. Top deck Blizzard was going to be probably pretty good anyway. Like I said, I'd have just made Dark End, and now we draw into Caius, and that's dead. So, yeah, we should have gotten big takeaways from that game. Should have gotten to 4 fairies if we at least like tried to get to 4 fairies off the battle recruiter, and then shouldn't have made Stardust, and then like shouldn't have let the opponent cheat. Also, that one is a big deal. Okay, next match. Next match. This is up against. Oh, this is against some weird plant deck, right? I think I remember this one. So, in this situation, I think you should activate Allure of Darkness because the Caius is kind of just like dead right now. We don't have a Fader. We don't have a Cyber Dragon. We don't have a Brain Control. We don't have a Trag or a Gores. We don't have like a Recruiter that could stick to the field. We have just a Dim-Alk that's going to get run over and add this to our hand. So I think you're better off just alluring and trying to draw into something else. But I think you don't do that. And then here, you use Torrential on this. And I absolutely think you should have just Honested over this. It would have let you keep tempo on the field. And then you would have preserved your more powerful, like, Disruption for later, too. Like, Honest is a really good card. I understand wanting to save it, but Torrential is just better. I mean, Torrential is just, like, one of the best cards in the entire format, so. And then here, you also didn't allure, and you definitely should have allured at this point, because now you've got 2 of them. And, like, you don't even have a way to summon 1, so. Yeah, just, like, allure this away. Try to draw something else, for sure. Yeah, there's really just no good reason to hold on to Allure of Darkness here, especially since we don't have a lot of defense. I guess, once again, you have that Honest still, but, you know, if this thing gets Caiused or something, that's going to be a problem, and it does get Caiused. So the opponent's going to search, whatever, they get Debris Dragon, and then I think on this turn, Allure gets used, and you see, you would have drawn an Orange Light, which means you could have just Caiused, or we could have just Orange Lighted that Caius play. And then the DD Warrior Lady would have stuck, and then we'd also had Honest. So, like, holding the Allure too long was definitely a problem here. And then here we just set Warrior Lady pass and get killed to creature swap, I think, probably. So I'd say, yeah, the main problem this game was just, like, not alluring. Not alluring immediately, and then not alluring the next turn, even with the second Caius. And then also, I think you should have just Honested over the Titanial instead of Torrentialing the Titanial. I'd say those are the main takeaways from that game. Here we go, game 2. So what happens this game? We go set. Do I agree with this? I think it's probably better to set Warrior Lady first, because that just, like, gets your Dim-Alk live and stuff. Like, if they attack into it, you can, like, banish their tomato or whatever, or you can just flip it up and hit into their set thing. And then even if it gets bottomless, it still gets your Dim-Alk live. So I think that's better. And then getting Dim-Alk live fast means you have something to set the Torrential behind too. So I probably would have done that instead. Because now, in this weird situation where it's like, you could just flip Dim-Alk and hit into this and, like, summon Card Trooper. Or you could flip Warrior Lady, hit into this, and summon Card Trooper if you'd done that. But instead, you have to, like, Caius this, or normal summon Warrior Lady, then play into Torrential Mirror. So I guess within the context of this situation, it's probably best to either go for Caius or summon Trooper. I think one of those two would probably, because Warrior Lady, like I said, it just plays into Torrential Mirror really bad, and you don't want to do that. So probably one of these two, but you actually summon Dim-Alk. Why'd you summon Dim-Alk here? I think, like, Caius Trooper. One of those two. Maybe just Caius the set, because then it, like, plays into this back. It would have gotten Fiendished, I guess, but it means, like, your Torrential's potentially more live because you tribute your guys. Some of the Caius get value out of that, and then it probably gets answered somehow, and then you have the Torrential backing it up. So here the Torrential's going to go off, but we're not going to get. It's not too great. It's just a 2 for 2, but it's good. It's like still a solid Torrential, but, like, if you just summon Trooper here, you would have had one more card in your hand. Or if you had summoned the Warrior Lady first and the Dim-Alk in line or whatever. I don't know. We draw into Dust Shoot, which is bad. And then we don't mill any fairies, which is also bad. So a little bit of an unlucko moment there. We get Fiendished. Opponent plays Magic Planter. Holy based. They kill our Card Trooper. That's fine. We draw. And then we draw into Angel. We draw into Plague. Like, I feel like this card is just not a good draw. Maybe maybe should have just gone for Warrior Lady. I think this build actually plays a second Warrior Lady. So Angel Crash get the second Warrior Lady is probably the better play. So I think you went for the right thing here. This is probably correct. And the opponent just set passes. So we just need one more Fairy and then Christia's Live. We draw into Decree. You could have just gone for Warrior Lady here. I don't know. Set Plague's not tremendously worse, I guess. It would. I feel like just having a better card than Plague would be a thing. So this is bad, obviously. I think we should have... Did we forget to take 1,000 from Caius Burn? It seems like we forgot to take 1,000 from Caius Burn. I mean, it doesn't really matter, but... I mean, it could matter at some point. So here, what do we do? What do we actually do? We hit over a token and we pass. And they stack for Plague and just win the game. Okay. Yeah, what were the problems this game? I think just like the normal summons that we chose to go with on the first couple turns were the wrong ones. I think on turn 1, we should have set Warrior Lady. And then on turn 2, we should have either Caius or Card Troopered. That's what I think about that one. Okay, this is one last replay against... What was this against? Like Flamvel Zombie. I think it's Flamvel Zombie. So our hand's very good. We're going first. We have Dust Shoot. I think this is exactly right. You should set these 3. Just hold on to the orange light. And then we take the Caius. You should have taken Dog. Probably, yeah. You should have taken the Dog. Because, what are they... The Book of Life isn't live. What are they going to do? They're going to Foolish Plague, stack for Plague Caius, but then you have Orange Light, and that would be just like the neggiest thing ever. It'd be like a 3 for 2, plus their entire turn is over. So yeah, I think you should have just taken the Dog. Because you can't... Well, you could Orange Light the Dog, but it's like bad. I'm pretty sure you can Orange Light the Dog, because Sangan should be Chain Link 1. This is optional, right? Yeah. But it would have just been better to take the Dog. So they make Thought Ruler... Thought Ruler Syndrome claims another life. You could have just had Stardust with Mirror Force behind it, but no. I kind of glossed over the fact that you searched Raikou. And I don't think it was correct to search Raikou, because you would figure they're probably just going to make Stardust since you saw the Mirror Force in their hand. But then they just made Thought Ruler anyway, so I don't know. I don't know what I would have gotten off this Sangan, but probably not Raikou. I would have just gotten like an Honest or a Warrior Lady or something like that, probably. Something that I felt like could be another way to deal with Stardust. So here, they Caius our Book of Moon. Just incredible stuff out of the opponents. So we book the Caius, and then the Raikou takes out the Thought Ruler. So I guess... Oh, we're playing Dad. I really don't like Dad in this deck. I mean... Yeah, if you want to take out Endrise, just play like Call of the Haunted or Freed or something instead. Yeah, I don't know. Dark Armed is just so hard to get live in this deck. Because, yeah, you play like 9 Darks or something, which is actually a pretty low amount of Darks for Dark Armed, honestly. But then it's also like the 9 Darks aren't even that easy to get into the grave, let alone just like set up exactly 3. It's a lot of stuff like Fate or Caius. It's like over the course of a long game, which most games will be long, definitely one of those is going to grave. So the Chaos monsters are like decent, but getting 3 is no easy feat. So I think Dad is just going to be dead like 99% of the time. Yeah. So we go for Caius. We can Caius the known Mirror Force, right? I don't even... Is this... How many? We're on 4 fairies now. We Caius the known Mirror Force. And then we hit... And then they don't use Book. Okay. So they just draw into a Caius. Card Trooper's a good draw. We build Armageddon. We're playing Armageddon Knight? Okay. Yeah, Why are you playing Armageddon Knight? Are you playing like Rhoda? I didn't even know that card was in here. Okay. Yeah, I would just like cut some of this other dark stuff. They summon Caius, so they could banish the Card Trooper, and they could book our Caius, and they could hit over it. Or they could banish Caius, hit over the Card Trooper, and keep the Book of Moon. That's probably better. I'm not sure. We need a third dark. We can't get one. They summoned Spirit Reaper, so now we just gotta pray they rip this Caius. They rip our Honest. That's unfortunate. There's got to be a way we can get to 3 dark. We're playing Foolish? Is this like a different version of the build? I didn't see any of these cards in the build you sent me. But yeah, we dropped Dad, so we finally got it live. At long last, we go for the Dark Armed, and it's just a Book. Why did we target the Book, actually? I guess because we have the Caius follow-up? But it's like, if the back row isn't chainable, if it doesn't just get used right away, then the dad will just take out everything. So don't dad target the back row. We win anyway because we killed a Caius Burn attack over Reaper. But yeah, I feel like the build was a little different in this match than in the other matches because I don't recall the Armageddonite Foolish being in there. But yeah, I still don't like the dad plague. This game you played pretty well, right? Was there any... I guess, keeping with the theme of the video, the main issues occurred in the first round. I think you should have taken the dog off the dust chute instead of the Caius. I think you should have searched something else off of Sangan instead of Raikou. And what else? We summoned a dad and Prio targeted Book of Moon, which is probably not good. But other than that, it was pretty good, pretty clean in this game. So, yeah. To the viewers sent this in, I hope you found my comments to be useful. I hope I wasn't too harsh to everyone else. Hope you enjoyed as well. Let me know what you thought in the comment section. I'll see you tomorrow. As always, be sure to like, comment, and subscribe. Furthermore, if you enjoy my content, you should think about becoming a channel member. You get access to tons of bonus content, and it's a great way to help support the channel.